There are three core mistakes that could potentially be killing your growth with Facebook ads. And these are going to be related to the ad creative, which is the highest leverage variable that we have at our disposal as advertisers to influence performance, positive and negative. And let's get started with number one, which is creative diversity over creative volume. Now, we all know that the more ads we test, the higher percentage chance we have at finding a unicorn asset, an asset that is able to transform the trajectory of our business. But it's not just about producing volume of tests. It's also about thoughtfully and carefully trying to build our ads to target specific users. And gone are the days typically where you can just upload test after test with such a small variation targeting the same type of person and expecting a wildly different result. We have to be more intentional. And the reason why is because if you break it down in terms of how the user pools on Meta and TikTok work, well, certain user pools are going to react positively or negatively depending on the type of ad that they are shown. And that can result in a whole host of different variables, but we're going to talk about a couple of them here, right? And so we need to build ads that cater to their needs. Some users, for example, will react very positively to user-generated content video ads, right? So you guys have all seen it when you have your phone and you have a creator that's kind of doing this with their iPhone and they're talking about the product or service, and then there's some B-roll in the background, there's captions, boom, voila, UGC. Some users react positively to that, some don't. And so, for example, maybe an animated video would result in users reacting more positively, right? It all depends on the individual. And so we need to, rather than only focusing on one ad style, UGC, we have to go and build different ad styles, different creative styles that target different cohorts of users within our target market. Which means that we can't have every single ad look the same. Otherwise, we're going to hit a ceiling of performance, which means that creating new ads is going to become wildly inefficient. And so, for example, let's say we need to differentiate. And by the way, UGC, it's not just UGC. There are tons of different types of UGC. Just like animation, there are tons of different types of animation and static images as well. But my point is that you want to have a mix, a blend, a diverse set of ad creative in your ad account so that you can maximize targeting as many users as possible that could react positively to your ads and purchase from your business. So, creative diversity over creative volume. Secondly, prioritizing the user experience. This one, I see nobody talking about this. Absolutely nobody's talking about it, but it is critical, okay? And so, the user experience is deeply intertwined with the goals of the platform that you're advertising on. Meta and TikTok have goals besides just taking your money. Why? Because their product, their users, need to be kept happy and engaging with the platform, right? And so if our ads create negative user experiences, then Meta or TikTok, they're going to know this and they're going to upcharge us on CPMs. And what does a negative user experience look like? Well, they stop using the platform because the ads fail to engage them, which means that when they stop using the platform, i.e. Instagram or Facebook, that means that available ad inventory goes down, right? Because there's one less user in the user pool to show an ad to, which increases costs not just for you, but for every advertiser. And so you can kind of see how the supply and demand influences what Meta and TikTok will prioritize. They want a positive user experience for those using their platforms. And so in order to do this, there's a couple things we can do. Number one, we want to use broad targeting. Right? This is no interest groups and no lookalikes and no custom audiences. When we have broad targeting, not only will we be able to scale the ad to a higher degree because we don't have to worry about audience fatigue, but we are giving the algorithm as many possible qualified users as possible to target with our ads, rather than forcing our ads to be shown to users in smaller audience pools that may or may not be interested anyway, because they've done studies on this. They've found, particularly North Carolina State University, found that at least 1/3 of users within interest groups on Meta did not belong there. In other words, they were actually disinterested or not interested at all in the thing that they were lumped into. And so if you are forcing your ads to be shown to those type of users that have an even less or reduced propensity to react positively to your ads, your user experience tanks. And so with broad targeting, you're giving the machine, the algorithm, which is way smarter than you or I put together, you're giving the machine as many possible inputs as possible, which increases the user experience because they can be more tight. It's a reverse psychology thing. The algorithm can get more niche and more granular with who it targets with broad because you have so many users within the audience pool, as opposed to an interest or a lookalike where it's very confined and you're forcing your ads to get shown to a specific group of people. And you're also gambling that the conversion rate of that audience is high enough to offset the additional cost, because anytime you use a custom audience, Meta and TikTok will upcharge you on a CPM basis. I don't like to gamble with my ad dollars. I don't know about you guys. But your ads do the targeting. This is the beauty of it. Because I can tell you all day to do broad targeting and you say, hey, Jhori, look, but how do I actually target my target market? I don't know how to do that. Well, your ads do it. Because when you upload an ad, Meta knows who sees your ad. Meta knows who reacts positively, who's liking, commenting, sharing, watching a percentage of your video, and clicking through to your website or landing page. And let's go through a simple example, right? Let's say 1,000 people watch your video ad and only 1 to 5% react positively. Do you think that the next 1,000 people that watch your ad are going to closely resemble this 1 to 5% of the original 1,000 that reacted positively? Yes. Because again, Meta is incentivized to provide a positive user experience. So if Meta receives data on 1,000 people and Meta knows that 1% of those 1,000 people react positively, the next set of users that it shows your ads to are going to be closely resembling that 1%. And it compounds over time. This is why learnings exist. When we talk about the ad needs to learn, the ad needs to optimize, this is exactly why. And so, and that's also, by the way, how a lookalike audience works, right? And so ads create their own lookalikes because your ad gets smarter and smarter over time because it keeps doing this over and over and over again. It finds the small percentage of people that react positively from the 1,000 people that it's shown to, and then the next 1,000, and the next 1,000, and the next 1,000. It's beautiful, okay? And what happens over time is your CPMs go down because you're creating better user experiences for the people watching and viewing your ads. And you actually get better results because your ads do that targeting for you. To boil it down, in terms of user experience, just show ads and build ads for your target market. Build different creative styles and build creative diversity in your ad account, and I promise you will see a positive result. Okay, let's get into the last one, level 3, technical options. Here's a cold hard truth, and this is coming from someone who has been in ad accounts, D2C, direct-to-consumer, e-commerce, digital products, lead generation, real estate, SaaS, app. And I've been there in the ad accounts. I've worked with Steve Harvey. I've worked with EA Sports. I've spent over 100 million. I've generated over 200 million. And I'm telling you, after I've been in the trenches for years, in agencies and direct-to-brand side, the tactical media buying, button pushing in the ad account does not carry high significance. Meaning, if you are spending less than $10,000 a day, and I know it sounds like a lot of money, and I know that 99% of you listening are not spending more than $10,000 a day, which means that this applies to most of you. You do not need to be investing your money in technical options. You should instead be investing again in that highest leverage variable that we have access to as advertisers to influence performance, and that is your performance creative, building ads designed to get you an ROI. Now, a good rule of thumb on the financial side is roughly 10% of your monthly media spend should be spent on developing performance creative. So if you spend $100,000 a month on paid ads, you should, as a separate line item in your business, be spending $10,000 on developing high performance ads. Maybe you pay a vendor to make them for you. Maybe you have an employee internally, right? Maybe you're using some software. I don't know. It depends on the situation you're in and what your needs are. Some additional technical options, right? And this is, again, typically reserved for the businesses that are spending $10,000 plus a day. Bid strategies, cost caps, bid caps, lowest cost, highest volume, standard enhancements. Oh, I did not know why that happened. Sorry about that, guys. Multi-advertiser ads, automated rules, ABO versus CBO versus ASC for scaling, right? If you are below $10,000 a day in ad spend, the best practice is to choose one of the strategies from each of these groups and just use that on a go-forward basis. Typically, that's going to look like highest volume, ABO for creative testing, maybe you have an ASC for scaling, scratch automated rules, always use standard enhancements, and always use multi-advertiser ads. You can turn stuff off, change stuff around based on what you want to do for your business, but my point is that you stick to one strategy until you have enough money to warrant investing in testing the technical options that have lower weight than ad creative. Potential impact when you invest in the right stuff is massive, guys. Do not underestimate it. Okay, if you found this video useful, whatever social platform that you're watching it on, whether it's YouTube, Twitter, LinkedIn, please, can I speak? I don't know. Please drop a like rating and leave a comment on what you thought. If you have questions, I'm here to help you. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to answer. And I hope that you have amazing success with your creative testing with paid social ads. And until next time, I'm just butchering it at the end of the video, aren't I? Until next time, take care.